Hi everyone, I'm back for another episode of Let's Talk About It with Sami Francis, a volleyball player at Stanford and also a Coast alum and San Diego girly.
Hi, thank you so much for having me. I'm super excited to chat.
We've known each other for so long and it feels like such a cool coming of age moment for us to be graduating and moving on. Like we're both looking to play pro. Just talking about our experience playing ACC volleyball, playing college volleyball in general. I'm just so excited to talk to you.
Yes, me too. Like you said, this is such a full circle moment and we've done it. We made it. I'm so excited.
Let's just start off with you going to Stanford. Can you just show us a little bit of, what were your 4 years like?
Yeah, so my freshman year, in terms of volleyball, I started out as an outside. But initially, when I first got here, we reported early in August, and I was sick and I had an illness for the beginning and pretty much all throughout preseason. So I never got the opportunity to really train with the team. But when I came back, I remember my first game was against Nebraska at home, like ever of my collegiate career. So I'm playing against Lawrence Difference, who I've always watched on TV. And I grew up as a middle. So it was like me playing outside. I was just like, oh my God, this is crazy. Yeah. But throughout my time at Stanford, I'd say that I'm pretty much every year I had some sort of injury, whether that be I had to get surgery or just, out with the ankle sprains and the whatnots, the broken fingers and things like that. So it's just been very interesting to just change from club and being so independent here. You have to just really know what you want for yourself and have to take it and run with it all.
Yeah, that's true. That's been honestly actually kind of a repeating theme in all of these interviews with people is college is a different world and you kind of have to learn that independence and figure out what works for you. Can we go back to, if you're comfortable, kind of a specific moment during that 4 years, maybe one of your injuries where you were struggling? What did it feel like? What was going on?
Yeah, totally. I mean, like I said, my freshman year was pretty challenging for me just because, coming into not just an amazing institution and university, but just a whole entire having to come in and play after a class like Catherine Plummer and Morgan Henson them, insane, especially coming from COVID as well. It was just a huge transition. But I would say my most challenging injury was my sophomore year and just being out for so long and watching. I had to come to practice every day and watch, well, not had to, but and yeah, just being able to sit on the sidelines was pretty hard for me because I felt like I could do it, I was like, let me push myself, let me get out there. But when you have a doctor saying no, you can't
Yeah.
risk your health, you have to take this time to just recuperate. But thankfully I had the support of my team and my family, and my mom ended up flying out here to help take care of me for a little bit. But yeah.
Yeah. Thank you for sharing that. I know it can be difficult to say those kinds of things publicly and also just to relive it in general. So I appreciate your vulnerability.
Thank you.
I'm wondering though, what were some of those things that you were telling yourself during that experience, or what were the things that you were learning about yourself or kind of doing every day to help you get through it?
My sister, when I graduated from high school, had sent me to college with this little journal, and
Oh,
I had also gotten one from my parents too. It's a 1 line a day journal.
okay.
And so it's a 4-year book that you can write 1 line a day.
Oh,
Yeah. And so I started taking that up, and I kind of have been wishy-washy about it, but I tried doing that more. I'm somebody who beats at ideas over and over again. And so if it's on paper, I'm able to digest what I have to understand about myself. And it was really easy for me to just think of put things on paper and just understand myself better. And I think I was trying to tell myself to just stay positive. When things are out of your control, there's only so much you can do. Really tried to understand myself because it was a difficult experience for me and something new that I had never done before.
I don't want to sound cliche and be like, a door closes and another one opens. But I don't know, you can't help but point out how, kind of losing your opportunity to express yourself in that way taught you, so much more about yourself and tools for the future. How did those tools or that journaling, has it helped you past that? In other times that maybe weren't so hard?
Yeah, no, 100% it has. And then my junior year, I ended up spraining an ankle, and then I was out with that again. And so it was just this huge aspect of my life is volleyball. And so when that's taken away from me or it has to be put on pause, I'm like, who am I besides that? So it really was an opportunity for me to figure that out and become more independent because, like I said, it's a huge jump from club to in college. And, I'm having my parents drive me to practice and pick me up. And then that's our time to communicate and talk about how practice went. But here I, scooter to practice and I scooter home and I'm by myself and it's just one place solo to another place solo. So it's like I have to find time to reflect and, just be okay with not being okay and being okay with being alone. So I think that these injuries have really definitely helped me figure that out and tough it out almost too.
Yeah. It's so funny that you say that because I was just talking to Rachel. Her episode will also be out in the series. I can't promise before or after yours. In college, like unless you have something like you're doing an internal check or you have really, really intensive friends or a coach
Mhm,
that checks in each day or like an app that you're using or something, like you don't get that kind of like feedback every day.
mhm.
You don't get that kind of like someone looking over you. Like you kind of have to learn how to take care of yourself. But then we're so young as athletes that we also need to make sure that we have people that are looking out for us, right? And
Yeah.
teaching us how to take care of ourselves. How has your team and your coaches fit into that for you?
I would just I love my team. I love my coaching staff. I love my support staff. Genuinely, this has been another tough time for me just having to let go and not that our relationships are going to end, but just knowing that I won't see these people every single day has been
Yeah.
tough for me because I'm just
Oh,
like you guys mean so much to me. Like my coach, Kevin Handley, this man, he knows that all the stuff that I've gone through like since freshman year. And he was just his speech to me, he wrote a letter and delivered a speech to me as well, but he was just like, I've seen you grow from somebody who didn't know how to overcome little things like injuries or class schedules, to somebody who's doing it independently now. Like for me with injuries, I'm so used to training in the gym with a team and doing it solo. It was so anxiety like inducing for me because I'm like, whoa, this is another thing that I had never thought about that I only ever worked out with other people. And so having to do it by myself just, kind of scared me. And I
yeah.
didn't think that I would be able to do it, but I fell in love with working out and now I go alone. I put my headphones on, like my little Sony noise canceling. And so that's another thing too. Like I really truly like through all these people and through these experiences fell in love with just bettering myself and trying to be the best version. And whether that be like through volleyball or just like school or solo, independently, it's just been really eye opening for me.
Yeah, and I mean those experiences and just like the ability to be alone and to be independent, I mean,
Mhm.
it's gonna help you so much when you go play abroad. Hearing you like smile about it almost makes me like sad that I'm leaving Stanford and I'm not. Like you could just
Right?
tell your like emotional you are about it. What are the conversations like with your teammates or like what are the things that your coach does that creates that camaraderie?
You know, it's different with some relationships that I have at school because I'm not seeing these people every single day. But when it's like a teammate, I see them every day. We both mutually challenge ourselves, in the gym and outside of that with school. And so we all have this sense of like, we know what we each other are going through. So that definitely helps us maintain close relationships. And then I would say that our coaching staff, Kevin has really harped on the fact that he wants us to be like people outside of volleyball. Like who are you, what's your identity besides volleyball, because at the end of the day you're not going to have this your entire life. Like this is just a moment in your life where you're having fun playing the game you love and you're getting some great experiences out of it, but besides that, like who are you? These people have done this like their entire lives. They've seen some of the greatest athletes like Catherine Plummer, Morgan Hens, and so they know what they're talking about. And like you have to put your faith in them just as much as they put it in you.
I mean, that's awesome. I mean, it sounds like you guys are really intentional about what you're trying to build and
Mm-hmm.
what you're trying to do. As a team that is known to be excellent, like Stanford is year after
Mm-hmm.
year after year for decades, like it has to be intentional. And it sounds like your coach knows that, hey, I can train them as hard as I want in practice and I can recruit the best girls possible from high school. But if I'm not creating a culture where they feel seen, where they
Mm-hmm.
feel valued, where they can rely on each other and they can rely on me, like it's not going to work. I want to talk about the day to day. Like the question everyone wants to know this year is like, how did you handle traveling across the country for every single away match? Like, how did you do that?
Yeah. Apparently, like, we went around the world twice or something like that. I don't even know. And then apparently this is the most any team has traveled in the NCAA ever. Like, so many crazy statistics. At the end of the day, it was hard. Like, I'm not even gonna lie. Like, when you have to, your circadian rhythm, for one thing, is getting out of whack. Like, sleep. He tried, and our whole coaching staff, they did a lot of research and whatnot. But I mean, it's just different being out there and having to worry about school. And like, this isn't an easy university, like you're constantly being challenged. This year we had pretty much a new team. We had a lot of like new starters and new people who had never been on the court before. So it's like we have to train these women to do new positions and do things they've never done before. So it's like everybody is challenging themselves, like past their comfort zones at times. I mean, it was definitely challenging. We tried not to harp on making it a big deal, but what can you do when you're literally being thrusted across the country, and then expected to play a great match and win,
Right.
So,
especially like in the ACC, it's not like just like show up and we just have to make it there and play hard. It's like, no, we're supposed to win. And if you don't win, like there's a problem there. Like, it's not like, oh, it's just fine, everything's great.
We've always heard like, hey, it's going to be a difficult conference. It's going to be difficult traveling this far, but it's one thing to hear about it, and then it's one thing to experience it. I think we did a great job. Like I said before, we had a lot of people who had never seen collegiate play before, and so it was a new experience for all of us for sure. And thankfully, we were close enough to have those difficult conversations about like, hey, how are we feeling? Let's check in, And then for myself, I would just say being more in tune with myself and, hey, how am I feeling? And then in terms of the recovery aspect, like I said, got more into like doing, bodily betterment, okay, let me stretch a little bit more, let me use this Normatec or something, let me go and do some rehab. That definitely helped me be as physically in shape as I could. I mean, when you're coming back at like 12 a.m. on a Monday and then expected to go to school and then practice and then do it all over again, it's definitely challenging on the body and the mind.
Do you have any like quick fix tips and tricks for how you reset yourself? Either, okay, I got to wake up and go to this class, something's going wrong in the game. Like, how do you quickly, reset yourself?
Okay. Outside of play, definitely I would say journal. I love going outside and going for a walk and just finding things to appreciate outside of volleyball. I love a great sunset. I love a good morning walk, so things like that. Yeah. And then I'd say while playing, quick fix. I love eye contact and like deep breaths. And so sometimes when I'm feeling like I am chaotic, I would turn to my teammates because we're close and just be like, hey, like, what do you need from me? What do I need from you? Check in with each other and just like take a deep breath. So I think just slowing things down, like slowing the game down as much as you can, and just making sure that you're present with the people around you.
I love that. All right, Sami, thank you so much for coming on the show today. I'm so glad to have gotten your perspective and honestly just to see you again. I'll see you in San Diego.
Yes, thank you for having me. Can't wait to be back home.
Hey guys, it's Sydney. I hope you enjoyed this episode of Let's Talk About It, sponsored by The Zone, the wellness co-pilot for sports organizations. For more info on The Zone, check out itsthezone.com or It's The Zone on Instagram, and I'll see you guys next week.